as we continue our talk, and we are meeting the schools, because Guyana have lots of schools and they have lots of representatives here. A lot of Guyanese are over here from different schools, and they form their different alumni association to help schools back in Guyana. We know our government is not doing much to help our schools. So we have the organization here, and we have here from Tutorial High School. Tutorial was two brothers who had the school, and I know the chair used to trouble the two old people. So you will tell us something about the alumni and what you all are doing to make Tutorial, or to make help the youths in Tutorial school. Welcome once again.
Hello, my name is Keith Cadogan, and I'm currently the president of the New York Tutorial Support Group. That's the official name of the Tutorial Alumni Association here in New York. We were formed way back in 1998, in part to coincide with the first international reunion in Guyana in 2002. Since then, we've been incorporated in the state of New York. We are a 501c3 organization, and we do a lot of fundraising activities to raise funds to help the school and students in particular. We have two major fundraising events each year. Spring Fling in the spring, in May or June of each year, and we usually have a 12th night dance in January every year. We also have an upcoming dance, an oldies dance, in October. That's 3 weeks from now, and all these fundraisers are in part to raise funds towards assisting the school. We were the first school, first alumni association to completely fund the computer lab for the school, and that was done way back in 2005. In fact, Tutorial's high school computer lab, it still is one of the finest computer labs in the entire country. It is used by UG as well. So that's one of the projects we are continuing to support. We provide both hardware and software for the lab. We provide other equipment that are requested by the school. So all in all, we are a very vibrant association. We have a very supportive alumni group that chip in and help us with all our fundraisers. So that's in part of the synopsis of what we're all about, and we continue to do work to raise funds for the school.
Thank you very much. You heard it all from the president of Tutorial Alumni in New York. And if you need to give them any fundings, you can make contact with the information that you give. Our youths need your help in Guyana. We need your help to help our youths in Guyana. So give them the opportunity and give them a better chance to get their education and to develop themselves in Guyana. Thank you very much for being with us, and thank you very much for your information on Beacon.
Thank you.
Among the sponsors of the Guyana Family Day once again. You've been a terrific audience. It's good that we can come out and show the rest of the society that we are peaceful, peace-loving people. And
you know, when you want to find any organization, any person, just come to the Guyana Folk Festival, organized by the Guyana Cultural Association. I have here a representative or a doctor. They said he's the spokesperson for the organization of ERG. ERG is an organization that is comprised with doctors and nurses who go on health fair to Guyana and to any part of the Caribbean island to give aid to whatever is needed. Dr. Mitchell is going to tell us something more about ERG and give his advice how people can get involved in contributing, donating, or being a part of this great organizations, health organization that do so much for many countries and many people. Welcome once again, Dr. Michelle, to Tots and Teens in Focus. I know you're not a tot or a teen, but you just write for the teens or the tots. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure being here at the Folk Festival, and it's been a pleasure being involved with the organization for the past 12 years. Let me give you a little bit of background and a little bit of history. HERG, as you mentioned, is an organization that does health and education relief for countries in Guyana. It's important for me to distinguish anyway that the organization has recently made a change in its name. It's now called HERO, Health and Education Relief Organization. The reason for this change was necessitated by the fact that we are now extending our missions to countries beyond Guyana and the Caribbean. HERG, the parent company, was started in 2000 by two physicians, Dr. Collie Utkirk and Dr. Wayne Sampson, who immediately out of residency decided to embark on this humanitarian mission. Over the past 13 years, we have been doing medical and surgical outreach to Guyana and also to Jamaica. We also have a segment that focuses on a literacy program that focuses on kids between the ages of 6 and 15 years old, teaching them the basics and the fundamentals of reading. HERG has two missions. The first occurs in March and the second occurs in August. There's also a surgical mission that usually occurs in December. If you're interested in volunteering with the organization, you may contact HERO on our website. Unfortunately, I do not know the name of the website, but if you were to Google HERO Guyana, the website will come up and you will get all of our contact information.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell, for that information. How can people get involved? I know there are a lot of nurses out there. How can they get involved and, on this mission, on this? And even if they're not a nurse, any person who's not a nurse, can they participate too?
That is a very good question because that's a question that's constantly asked of our membership. Anyone who is willing to contribute can make a contribution. There are a variety of areas where you can contribute, not just financially, but in terms of your organizational skills. So even though the majority of the persons on the medical mission are physicians and nurses, we do need individuals who have organizational skills to help to coordinate the clinics and to help to coordinate the missions, to organize transportation, to organize meals. So anyone who has a heart and who has a desire, if you're willing to come and help us, you will be welcomed with open arms.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. You heard what, it doesn't matter if you're a nurse or a doctor, but if you're willing to give your skills or willing to support the HERG organization here, support the HERO, and to make contact with the members, Dr. Mitchell and other members, that you can get into contact so that you can be a part of this great big organization that is doing so much of work for Guyana and other Caribbean countries. Thank you very much, Ree.
Just like to also extend an invitation to anyone who's out there listening to this program and who is interested in supporting us. We do have our annual dinner dance fundraiser that's going to take place on September the 21st at Terrace on the Park. It's an elegant affair. The admission is $125. It may sound like a lot of money, but if you consider that you will be getting free drinks, all you can eat food, and it's not a buffet, it's table service. You also get a gift bag on leaving the event that's worth at least $100. So you get more than your money's worth back, and in addition, you're supporting a worthy cause. So we're asking for your support. We need your support. This cannot be done without funds. So please come out and support us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mitchell, for this wonderful talk. Thank you.
Somebody asked me some stuff. Huh? Somebody wants something? Somebody wants something.
find everyone and everybody. If they are missing, you can get them on the folk festival. I have here Mr. BENN, who is a famous, well-known Facebook author, writer, and blaster. My partner in crime. We blast at every situation. He's here. He's going to give us a little idea about himself and his values for the Facebook and also what he's doing. Welcome to Tots and Teens in Focus. Welcome. Welcome to the Facebook crew.
Thank you very much, Patricia. Thank you very much, Patricia. Thank you very much, Pat, for this introduction. My name is BENN, and on Facebook, I have the group, the political group that is called Center for Guyana Progress. My background is simple this. I've been an attorney, and currently I'm not practicing privately. I'm working with the government. I live in Washington, D.C. and in New Jersey. There's a need for us to be part of what is happening in Guyana. And so I decided 2 years ago that having this group, as the name spells, the Center for Guyana Progress, where most of us from Guyana, United States, Canada, and all over the diaspora can get together and discuss most or all of the issues that impact the Guyanese community, because we all would like to see democracy, the rule of law, good governance, and harmony for all our people in Guyana. We just can't live over here in the United States and say things are not going well with Guyana and not trying to do what we can to be part of the solution, instead of waiting when election comes and the politicians would come here and ask us to donate our money. So on behalf of the Center for Guyana Progress, I hope when you guys tune into Facebook, you can look for that group and become a member and participate in some of the lively discussions, because we all have to get together and work together so that we could truly make Guyana our country of one nation, one people, one destiny. Thank you very much, and may God always bless Guyana and the Guyanese people.
Thank you, Mr. Bell, for that wonderful talk. And I do hope to see you as a politician someday soon, a politician in America.
A lot of folks say that I'm on a heavy ethics, but maybe. All things are possible, maybe. Thank you very much, Patricia.
Thank you very much. Closing.
You're welcome.
Yes, mama. Your man good looking, yes, mama. Your man in love, yes, mama. Your man have discipline, yes, mama. It's alright, yeah. Mama looking bad. Father him stop school. Look like him Sunday I hope him fit you. Eh eh. Say on that not too pretty. Yes, mama. From the city, should I know, mama. From the city, should I know, mama.
As we continue our talk with the anything Guyanese on Facebook, we have Mr. Bill KATO, who is a member of Facebook, and I think he knows me very well. Sometimes he put me off too. So, Mr. KATO, welcome to Tots and Teens in Focus. So you know this face now, so don't put me off. Don't follow Mr. Lloyd.
Hi, folks. It's a pleasure being here today. I'm enjoying all of this, but before we go any further, let me tell you about our group. It's called Anything Guyanese. This group started approximately 2 years ago, and we're basically everywhere around the world. We're online. It's called Anything Guyanese. Just log on to facebook.com and go into the page that says Anything Guyanese. What we do, we promote the culture of Guyana and the Guyanese in the diaspora. We basically promote the culture by sharing with everyone, everywhere. Doesn't matter wherever you may be, whether it's Guyana, just around the world. And we like to discuss a lot about family ties. We network. We try not to get too deeply into politics. We do not discriminate. We don't. We try not to talk about religion. And for the most part, it's a fun site being on. And I hope that you would see it fit to join us whenever possible, but as soon as possible. And I thank you, and I'll hand you back over to.
Thank you very much, Mr. KATO, and thank you for being with Tots and Teens and giving us the information about anything Guyanese on Facebook. And this is Guyanese Day. This is the Guyana Folk Festival of Guyana Cultural Association that was formed in New York, representing Guyanese throughout New York.
And November's general, and we're very confident that funding and support for culture, including this event we're here at today, will be a priority for legislators in the next administration. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much. As we mentioned earlier, we have every elected official from Westchester to Long Island under the tent. And of course, they're going to do all the kissing of Dolly Williams and what have you. So John Liu, our controller, will bring greetings on behalf of the city of New York in his position.
For the biggest event in town every single year, the West Indian Day Carnival Parade, an event that draws tens or hundreds of thousands from all over the region. Some would even say millions. But no matter what the number is, it's the biggest event in town, and it's right in time for Labor Day, where we celebrate the success of working men and women in this city. And in fact, if you look at our New Yorkers who come from the Caribbean, they are the hardest working people around, so it's very fitting to have this event right on Labor Day. I may not be from the Caribbean, but I am an immigrant from an island, a tropical island also. It happens to be an island on the other side of the world, the island of Taiwan. They say I was made in Taiwan. But nonetheless, this is an event for all New Yorkers, because today we are all Caribbean American. Thank you so much, and enjoy the wonderful, wonderful day. And before we adjourn this part, I think it's very fitting if I may ask everybody just for a quick moment of silence for a fellow New Yorker who is not able to even be here in conscious with us. And that's little one-year-old Antic Hennis, was shot to death in an act of senseless violence that reminds all of us that the battle against violence and the battle to keep guns off the street is not over. Please, brothers and sisters, a quick moment of silence for little one-year-old fellow New Yorker Antic Hennis.
we must renew our vows to end violence here in Brooklyn, here in New York City, and all across America. And until that day comes, we must be relentless in our efforts to fight for greater gun control, get guns off the street, and bring about an era of community policing that keeps people safe by uplifting and empowering people in the community rather than denigrating and humiliating them. Thank you so much.
You're cheering.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Where have you been? Looking for my camera. My camera. I don't know where the guy is. I'm coming back to interview you.
That's good. That's good. It's good survival.
No, like everybody told me. Just past each other.
Everybody told me. How are you?